Hey everybody, another Cologne review for you today. I hope everybody's been well. It's been like a week or two since my last review or something like that. Today I'm going to do a fragrance called Zaharoff Signature Pour Homme. This is by George Zaharoff. George Zaharoff is a fashion designer. Let me just check real quick. Got a little cheat sheet here. Claude Deer, the way I'm pronouncing it, is the actual parfumé of this. George is the face behind the fragrance and the brand, if you will. This came out in 2018, and it's a kind of fougere, spicy kind of fragrance, and it's pretty popular. I see a lot of people talk about it, especially in the YouTube fragrance community. It seems to be pretty popular, and perhaps one of those reasons why is because George is pretty active in the community, and it's kind of unique and refreshing to see a sort of face like that to just kind of pop up on YouTube and comments and things, which is pretty cool. George is subscribed to me on YouTube, so I just wanted to say that just as a little disclaimer, so you know, I don't want you to think I'm being biased or anything. I wasn't paid to do this or anything like that, but it is a very good fragrance, and I'll be very positive about it. Just wanted to say that. This is a free sample that I got, by the way, that I've been testing on and using. It's free. You can go to his website and sign up for a free sample, and they'll send it to you. It's totally free. There's no strings attached. I think that's awesome. It will probably take a while because of the pandemic. There was like a lot of shipping delays and stuff. But yeah, give it a shot. I mean, it's free. There's nothing to lose. But I do like this, I have to say. I mean, I don't want to sound like an ass kisser, but it's just a good fragrance. It does smell a lot like other fougères I've smelled, but there are some unique things in here that I really personally enjoyed. It seems to be a pretty positive perception of this cologne as well. I'll try to keep this a little bit short too, by the way. Let me just read the notes to you just so you can get an idea. It looks like we have agarwood, which is oud, patchouli, sandalwood, rose, incense, myrrh, jasmine, vetiver, vanilla, lavender, black pepper, and cypress. So notes that are not out of place in a sort of fragrance like this. I definitely smell like some woody, vetiver-y, oak mossy, that in the base deal, like in the mids and the base, that's very typical sort of fougère style composition. But when you put this fragrance on, I personally get a nice blast of freshness that does smell citrusy. I'm going to look at the notes. It doesn't look like there's, any citrus listed, so maybe I'm smelling something different. I don't know, but I do get a nice, fresh, citrusy sort of thing. It's not super sweet or anything, but you get that blast of the sort of fougère with a nice citrusy freshness, and it's really nice. It's very refreshing. It's not super heavy, but it does have that warmness, or warmth, if you will, to it that we all associate with that style of fragrance that's nice. And then oud does come in, and the oud in this fragrance is a little bit smoky. It doesn't come in right away. It comes in 20 minutes or so, and it lasts for the mid of this fragrance. It's a little smoky, like I said, but I don't think it gets crazy like some ouds do. And even though a lot of people do talk about the oud in this fragrance because it's, I guess, a unique note that's added in here, I wouldn't say that it totally dominates it or anything, or like it's the main star in this fragrance. It's just another thing. And one thing to say is it's just a very well blended fragrance throughout. Nothing necessarily sticks out too much. And it's not linear, so you do get that nice fougère-style freshness at the top, which, to me, almost, honestly, smells barbershop-like. It does smell a little bit like a barbershop, where it has that slightly sharp, masculine, dressed-up sort of smell to it. Then the oud pops in, which is kind of unique. And it's unique, but like I said, it doesn't stick out, and I think people that don't even really know oud aren't going to even really say, oh, what's that? Or they might just not even think about it. It's just a part of the fragrance. They might think oh, that's a kind of unique smell, but it's not bad at all. And then the base of this fragrance goes into more of the typical fougère style base, but it has this sweetness to it that, you know, some fougères do have a lot of spices in them sometimes, spicy fougères. Though for me, the spices tend to kind of wean away towards the base, and in this one, the spices kind of tend to stay in the base, and they're slightly sweet and nice. Not necessarily super unique, but the spice is a little bit different than what I'm used to. I think it might be the myrrh. I'm not super familiar with myrrh as a fragrance or as a note in my fragrances, but I do have myrrh and some oils that I use in my diffuser, so I'm a little bit familiar with it. and it does smell ever so slightly sweet, and I think that's what's going on in the base. So I think this fragrance is very, very well blended. It smells very high quality. There's nothing synthetic here, all right? You don't have to worry about any of that. It smells very high quality, okay? It smells very handsome. It smells very well dressed up. It is a little bit sharp at the top, like I said, but I like that because it gives that masculinity to it, that barbershop style sort of thing. But as it dries down a little bit, it just becomes handsome, gentlemanlike, dressed up. It's something you would wear to a wedding. It exudes class, I would say. It's a very classy fragrance. I think that would probably be the best descriptor of this. And I don't want to sound elitist or conceited by any means, because I don't really like putting things into categories. This definitely doesn't smell like something maybe a younger crowd would go for, though. It smells maybe a little bit more sophisticated than that. And I think Signature is a good title for this because I could see this being a dumb reach. I could see this being something somebody wears all the time. And dumb reach is not necessarily a bad connotation to have towards a fragrance. A dumb reach is a cologne that is well suited to a wide variety of occasions that you can just reach without even thinking about and not have to think like, oh, is it going to work for the weather or is it going to work for this occasion? No, you just grab it and put it on because you know it's going to work for everything. I think this is close to being a dumb reach kind of fragrance. I think that a lot of men, even men, there's a lot, and I'm kind of going off on tangents here, but I think there's a lot of uniqueness in this and high quality that fragrance fans are going to enjoy kind of picking apart and smelling. But I also think that it's, in addition, well suited for those that aren't that into the community like we might be, where they just want something to smell good. I don't know if a lot of non-fragrance fans are going to come across this per se, because they're probably going to go for some other designer releases, but I don't think that they would dislike wearing this at all if they happen to come across it. I think that, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm losing my train of thought a little bit here, but I just think it would be good for that. I think that would be good for a wedding. I always say Homme is like, you know, by YSL is like my ultimate wedding scent. This might edge it out a little bit. It has a little bit of that more of a sharpness to it that I think I like. I think it would be great for that. I think it would be good for a date, and the office it would be fantastic because this projects fairly decently, and I would say that it has okay longevity, like maybe 5 or 6 hours. Not fantastic, but it's decent, at least for my skin. My skin does not do well with longevity, but fantastic office fragrance. So I know that I'm praising this a lot, and like I said, I don't want to sound biased, but I'm just not going to lie. I just think it's a really good fragrance. I really don't have anything bad to say about it. Honestly, I don't really have anything negative to say. And again, there's a free sample available for you, so if you haven't smelled it, absolutely check it out. Fougères are not necessarily for everybody, but I think this is one that if you haven't smelled, you're probably going to like it. The only downside I would say to this is that it's kind of expensive, at least for me. A 2-ounce bottle, I believe, is $100. That might not seem like a lot to some people, and again, this is a very high-quality fragrance. The oils and the scents used are very high quality, and it has okay performance. That's just a little bit too much for me. There's also, I think, a 4-ounce, which is, of course, more, but 100 is just a little too much for me. Not necessarily complaining, per se, because it's a good quality, but that's a little too much for me. I know I'm, again, repeating myself. I would definitely buy a decanter of this for sure, though. This is one that I could see myself wearing all the time. Like I said, as a dumb reach, very good fragrance. Yeah, and I'm never too big on bottles. Like, if you watch me, you know I don't really care too much about presentation. But it does come in this cool sort of designed bottle. And the juice is like a periwinkle color, like a blue, purplish gray kind of color. It's very cool. So, yeah, that's Zaharoff Pour Homme. I think it's an absolutely phenomenal fragrance, especially the dry down. I like everything in this fragrance. I like the way, kind of the path that it takes. But the dry down with that woody, oak mossy sweetness to it is really good. I think that would work a little bit better in the fall if it was just the dry down the whole time. Although I would say this works well in all seasons. Maybe summer because there's oud in it. You know, that might get that might push it a little bit to being too strong. But honestly, I think this would probably work well in any season. But fall, I think, would be the prime one for this, right? But it's summer, and I'm going to continue wearing it. So that's Zaharoff Pour Homme. It's absolutely fantastic. I hope you try it. Guys, thank you for watching. Yeah, I just hope you're all well. I always ask what your scent of the day is. If you happen to watch this, give it a thumbs up. Please comment. I don't care about anything. Like I'm not here to be making making millions or anything. I love when you guys comment. That to me is my favorite part of your interaction. I like hearing from you guys. So let me know what you've been wearing, what you've been up to, and how you've been. I hope everybody's well and things are kind of somewhat resuming normalcy. So I'll be back at you next time with something else. I don't know what it'll be. Probably will be Cologne. But yeah, peace out, guys, and smell good.